I found the shreds of my shipping label in her recycling bin, and that's when I knew my HOA board president wasn't just nosy, she was a thief. It began with a missing phone case, then a hardcover novel, then the worst one, a custom bracelet for my sister, gone from my doorstep. I live on a pristine, rule-obsessed cul-de-sac, and the self-appointed monarch of it all is Margot. Impeccable hydrangeas, a perpetually raised eyebrow, and a smile that feels like a violation. Every time something vanished, she'd materialize on the sidewalk. "You know," she'd say, "the covenants prohibit porch clutter," as if the empty space where my package had been was the real eyesore. I installed a security camera. The next day, I reviewed the footage. There was Margot, in a wide-brimmed gardening hat, scooping up my delivery, giving my lens a little finger wave, and strolling back to her mansion like she'd just picked a prize rose. I took the video straight to the HOA meeting. The board sat behind a long table, rule books stacked like fortifications. They watched, they hummed, they asked, "Are you certain the box was addressed to you?" I replayed the clip. "Perhaps it migrated," one suggested. "Right, a 3-pound parcel sprouted legs." I talked to neighbors. They glanced at their curtains, lowered their voices. "She files complaints about grass height," one whispered. "It's not worth it." They were intimidated. I was livid. I made one final polite attempt. I walked to her door with the video on my tablet. She answered, smelling of expensive perfume and false concern. I showed her the screen. "This is my property," I said. She let out a light, tinkling laugh. "Oh, that! It looked so forlorn out there." Then she called me dear, the verbal equivalent of a pat on the head, and closed the door. That night, I scrolled through the HOA bylaws. One line jumped out. "Excessive non-seasonal porch displays prohibited." Margot's porch was a permanent festival, a giant autumnal wreath in spring, plastic flamingos, strands of unapproved lighting. Interesting. The idea struck me while watching a prank compilation and eating leftover lo mein. If she wanted to redecorate my porch, I'd give her a gift. I constructed a dummy package, weighted perfectly. Inside was a simple device. Lift the lid and a small motor would whirl, erupting a storm of iridescent, microfine glitter, the kind that embeds itself in everything. For good measure, I added a vial of liquid with the distinct aroma of fermented sardines. I labeled it clearly with my name and address. Art should be signed. I placed the box on my welcome mat and waited behind the blinds. 9 minutes later, she glided over. A glance left, a glance right, then that performatively casual saunter. Her hand closed on the lid. Kaboom! A cloud of emerald, violet, and silver glitter engulfed her head and shoulders. The scent pouch burst. She shrieked, a sound that likely cracked crystal in the next county. My camera captured it all. The initial explosion, the stunned freeze, the subsequent frantic dance as she tried to shake off the shimmering plague. Neighbors' doors opened. One started filming. Another snorted a laugh they couldn't contain. Margot spun in a circle, now a furious glitter-dusted tornado. "You psychotic vandal!" she screamed, pointing a sparkly finger at my house. I stepped outside, calm. "Margot, you tampered with my mail, my rigged mail. That footage is already saved in 3 places." She dialed the police. Excellent, I thought. 2 officers arrived, their boots crunching on a glitter trail that led from my stoop to her foyer. They struggled to keep straight faces. She jabbed an accusing sequined hand my way. I showed them the evidence, clips of her taking packages on 3 separate days, followed by the glorious detonation. One officer asked, "Ma'am, is that you in these videos?" She uttered the immortal phrase, "They appeared abandoned." He looked at the label on my glitter bomb with my name clear as day. "With your name on them?" While she sputtered, a city code enforcement officer pulled up. A neighbor, feeling newly brave, had reported her for the unauthorized permanent display and electrical hazards. Funny how HOA royalty forgets about municipal codes. The inspector took notes as Margot tried to argue while picking glitter from her eyelashes. The HOA board members arrived, drawn by the commotion in the neighborhood chat where my video was now playing on loop. A small crowd gathered. Someone shouted, "Sparkle Justice!" The lead officer informed Margot she was being cited for petty theft and trespass. The code officer handed her violations for the porch infractions. Then the head of the HOA, a man who'd previously dismissed me, adjusted his glasses, now dusted with glitter, said, "We will need an emergency vote regarding your board seat, Margot." She tried to pivot. "He assaulted me with a device." The officer asked, "What injuries?" She sneezed a tiny rainbow. The crowd chuckled. Sometimes the best evidence comes with a little sparkle. I showed a photo of the box's interior mechanism, set to activate only upon opening. A theft deterrent, I explained. The officer agreed. The stench faded. The glitter did not. For weeks, she left a faint shimmering trail. Kids called her Tinkerdell. The neighborhood chat transformed. People shared their own small grievances. The board, suddenly energetic, instituted a clear package protection policy. They even asked for my security recommendations. I suggested better lighting and, listening to residents. Margot paid city fines, was removed from the board, and served community service picking up litter. I heard she found glitter in her vacuum for months. My sister's replacement bracelet arrived safely. I wear it sometimes. My porch feels like mine again. On sunny days, you can still see a few specks of green glitter fossilized in the pavement crack by her driveway. It reminds me of the day the quiet neighborhood decided enough was enough. Peace returned not with a bang, but with a shared understanding. Packages stay put, and Margot learned a vivid lesson. Some consequences have a persistent, shiny half-life. If you enjoyed this tale of glittery justice, show your support by liking this video. For more stories of clever comebacks and everyday battles, subscribe to Trending Tales Pulse. What do you think? Was the glitter bomb a step too far, or was it the perfect, harmless consequence? Would you have done something similar? Let me know in the comments. And remember, for more Trending Tales Pulse, hit that subscribe button.